In today's video, I'm going to walk you through start to finish how to make a low poly game ready base mesh inside of Blender. So let's just hop straight in right now. Okay, this is going to be the final results of the character. So when I started out, I would always kind of use base like references like this, but it just basically ended up with me unable to make basically any other character and also just spending hours trying to search for a decent reference image. So I'm going to show you my method, which is a lot easier and does not require using a base mesh or reference image like this. So let's just hop in. Okay, so on the left, you can see my screencast keys. So if I'm clicking on something, look over there to see what I'm doing, because I will walk you through pretty quickly how to go through all of this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to actually get good proportions on a character is set up a proportion guard. Now, what we do this is basically we take a cube, and this is going to be the size of our head, especially like the vertical, and then basically duplicate it down, and then that's going to depend where the landmarks for the body go. Okay, so you can see like this. So you can see over here, like this is it is a bit of like a stylistic base proportions, but you can see basically we have the head, heart, and then this you can kind of like learn where the landmarks are. So you see like this is what 3 heads high, and then his legs are 3 heads. So then basically like you can kind of set that into the proportions of this. This is equal to the upper body, and then plus and then the head on top. Usually, I think it would be basically like the middle would be kind of the same proportions. Like this would be the same size as the top. But yeah, that's essentially what we're going to use. And you can basically use any reference image. So this is PureRef, by the way. So pureref.com, let's go download it. So you can just slap your image in, Control D, and then just figure out basically the rough proportions. You can even just use like your hand to get like the middle of your character or whatever. But this is what we're going to use for the proportions of a character. And you can see, so it's 8 heads tall. I'm just going to slap this on my second monitor. But what we can do to set up the proportion system is select our cube. On the right, go to add modifier. And then over here, we're going to search and we're going to add a array modifier right there. Cool. So you see, now it's gone and duplicated it. So it's just gone, we can do here. And if we set this to 8, there you go. So you see, now we get 8 cubes. Obviously, we want to go up because, or maybe down, because obviously we're doing a vertical character, not horizontal. So on the modifier, we have this factor x. I'm going to set this to 0. Z, I'm going to set to -1, so that it goes down. And then you can see, now we have this set up. Now, you can also set the height of your character now. So with N, you can pull up the side panel, and you can see 16 meters tall, which is obviously a little bit too tall. So I'm just going to scale this down, and then we probably go to like 1.8 meters or something like that. Yep, let's just go to 1.8 meters, and then just bring it up so it's on the floor. Okay, so now we are ready to get like everything done. And also to make our life just a little bit easier, because obviously if I go back to Z solid, you can see it's just one singular tube. So I'm going to go to my object properties, go viewport display, and change this to wire. Okay, so now even in solid view, it's like this. And then I'm also going to change it so we can't select it. So over here, I can open this menu, turn on the little cursor, and if I tick that, you can see now I can't select this object. Okay, so now it's just a wireframe thing in the center. So now we can just model and not have to worry that much about it. Cool. So let's go Shift A and add in a mesh cube. Now, as we said, the middle of the character is going to be roughly the like third one up. So roughly, oh wait, actually I was wrong earlier. It is 4. So 4 is the leg, and then upper body probably ends like here, and then the head, obviously, so like neck. Okay, so I'm just going to push this up and scale it down so it's roughly like here at the center. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is set this up so we can make basically the torso. So the first thing we're going to do is add a mirror, because if we mirror it, one side's going to be on the other, which just obviously saves a lot of time. So to do that, I'm going to go tab, go edit mode, go Control R. Okay, now we go to edge loop, and then just hover over the middle, like at the top edge, and you see we can go add a vertical line, press escape, and then we can just select the left side and go X vertices. Cool. Now in the modifiers, we can go add a modifier, mirror. Cool. So you see now it's been mirrored across. But if I select this, you can see it can pull away from the center. So I'm just going to click clipping, and you see now it's stuck to the center. Nice. Okay, on the side, I'm going to go Control R, add another edge loop, and then I can just go GX, pull that out. Okay, so you see now slightly round, and then to make it even a little bit more round, I'm going to go Alt left click on the center and go Scale Y. Okay, so you see now I've got a round piece like this. Nice. Now, what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to go Z wireframe. I'm just going to box select the top, just hold left click. Okay, I'm going to go GZ and pull this up. By the way, if your mirror did not work, then you need to make sure that you are working in front view. So you can see here, the Y axis is the front view. You can also press this little key underneath your escape key, go front view, or just one on your numpad if you have a numpad. But yeah, I always work in front view. Make sure that your object's actually in the center of your scene. Makes your life a lot easier and will mean that the mirror actually works. But if it isn't, then you can check the different axes. Cool. Now, we can go add some edge loops over here, so we can actually start shaping up this piece. Now, I'm just going to Control R, scroll up, so you can see if I scroll up and down on my mouse wheel, it goes and adds more or less edges. So I'm just going to add like 2 here, and then we can just select these, and we can just move them in and out, so you see like that. So we can just basically shape it up to whatever we want. And then obviously we can go edit this as we build it up, and then I'm going to go side view, and then I'm just going to scale on the Y, so scale Y, and I can push it forward, scale GY, and then scale Y. You can also like rotate these at this point if you want. But yeah, you see there, that's all good. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this whole bottom bit, so just box select it like this, hold left click, X faces. I'm just going to just make the viewport a little bit easier. I'm just going to go hide my annotations, so just N view annotations, and it draws D, by the way. Okay, I'm going to go to edge select up here. I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to go F to fill. Cool. Then I can just go extrude down. Cool. And then I'm just going to select on the face, delete the side face, and then Control R, add an edge loop down the side. Cool. And you see now what we've done this is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. Cool. Now, this is good because, like, usually this is basically an opening for the leg. You don't want to have, like, 4 vertices because that would just mean that your legs are square. Cool. And then I'm just going to go to edge select, and then I'm just going to go side view as well, bring this down. And then we can basically just take these edges. Let's go vertex. And then basically just round it out. Cool. Now, obviously, you can see it's not very good from the front view. But what we can do is go edit, preferences, add-ons, and then look for loop tools. Cool. Or you might actually have to go get extensions and then look for loop tools. Okay. And then once you have that installed, go add-ons, make sure it's enabled. What we can do is go, so alt left click on this edge, and then we can go right click, or we can go W. No, might be, I think it's right click normally. I've just rebound it. Loop tools, circle. Okay. And you see, so now it's actually circular, flat like that. And then I'll basically just scale it down a little bit like this. Okay. And then now I've got a good start for the leg. Now I'm also just going to bring these edges so they kind of like almost line up, you see. And then this kind of gap right here is quite big. So then I might just go add another edge loop like that. Okay. Or I can even just go shorten. So I can select that X, delete edges. I can select this and then just pull it up, just GZ like that. Okay, there you go, cool. See, so now I've got a pretty decent start for the leg. Cool. So let's go get set up the other edge loops, because basically we have a loop set up for our leg now. Now we need to get one for our arm and one for our neck. So let's go get the arm. The arm is pretty simple. So the first thing I do is I select this top vertex, and you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 2 faces or quads. I'm going to go Control and B to bevel. And you see it does nothing. So I'm going to go click V for vertex. So you see now it's actually beveling that vertex. And then get whatever size you want the neck. And then when we've done that, you can see that this turns into a n-gon, which is a face with more than 5 vertices. So what we can do is we can actually use the knife tool, so K, and then just go cut across like that. And you see now that ends up with 2 quads or 2 faces with 4 vertices. Same thing. So K, knife tool, click here, press enter, and you see now we have quads all around, except for this middle bit, but it's fine. We're going to delete that. Now you can actually select this face. So just select the face. You can also use 3 at the top of your screen, and then just go right click, loop tools, circle. Okay. And then you'll see it kind of like pops out a little bit. So just rotate until both edges are like completely flat. And there you go. You've got setup for the neck. So you can like push it up a little bit. Usually I kind of like rotate this or whatever. You can kind of figure out, look at the front view, look at the different side views. I'm just going to screw it up a little bit and then just delete that face, X faces. Okay. You see we got that ready. We can actually do the same thing. So it's just extrude down from the leg here. Pull it out, because if you have it like close and when you rotate it, you'll see it kind of snaps to the center. So let's just pull it out further and then bring it. Just make sure that like you further out when you scale it. So we can scale it up like that. Cool. There we go. And then maybe scale Y, so it's a bit thicker. And then we can just update that little shape quickly. Yeah, okay. That's a good start. Right, now for the arm, we have 2 options. Either we can select these 2 and then like inset and then bring it out and then like loop tools circle. You see like that. Or we can just go add a edge loop like this and then do the same thing basically. So then just basically round it out a little bit and then just go extrude and then loop tools circle. We can scale it down a little bit and then basically like set up from the top view. And yeah, so basically the 2 options you have. I kind of prefer this as it kind of just gives you an extra edge loop, so you can even use it for like the chest if you want to give it definition there. So I'll usually do something kind of like this. And then it also, if you were to pull an edge from here, if you pull an edge from here, then you kind of lose a lot of definition on the side of the chest. So I'd recommend going with this. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So now we've got that set up, we can go work on obviously the arms, legs, etc. Cool. So for the legs, I'm just going to go Alt left click on this bottom. I'm just going to go extrude down all the way to like roughly where the top of the foot should be. Scale it down to like the ankle. Cool. Then I'm going to go Control R, add edge loop for the knee. So this again, when your reference can be useful. So like I can see that the bottom of the knee is like roughly lines up with this. So we can push it to like here. Okay, so I'm just going to scale it down a little bit, and then maybe add like another edge loop above it. Control R, and then just scale, rotate like that. Cool. Then usually the calf kind of pushes back a bit. Same thing with the thigh actually. Well, the back of the thigh is usually a bit flat, so like there. And then I'm basically selecting bits just with box select, and then just going GY. But you can see here in the reference, like you can see the back of the leg's quite straight, and then the front is kind of like curves, and then it's kind of the opposite. So like this, you can see the front is straight, and then the back kind of curves over. So it's kind of like a little S curve in the front of it, or in there. So yeah. So we can go here, Control R, and then bring this back a bit. So there, just G R S, kind of reposition like that, and then just push this back like that. Nice. And then when we do that, sometimes you just have to kind of like push the whole body back. So you can just in edit mode or in wireframe, just rotate the whole body a little bit like that. You can also bring like the whole up body you see there. Maybe a bit too much. Basically, it's going to make it sure that it actually looks like it's balanced when you check it. Okay. There we go. Quick and easy to add the legs in. Just make sure that they're not too, they are quite squished almost, or like very oval. Hey, by the way, if you are enjoying this tutorial, go check down below. I have my low poly character guide and my topology guide for making characters, where we will deep dive making base meshes and all of that stuff that goes into it. And obviously for the low poly character guide, everything that covers the entire workflow. So go check those out first, link in the description. Yeah, let's go back to the video. Okay, so next I'm just going to select the side. So just select these two faces, and we can just go extrude out. Now, usually for getting the length of the arm, again, you can use your reference and then see basically what points it goes down to. So you can see here, basically it goes to the 3.5, or let's go to the wrist, so just over like on the middle, it goes to. So what we can do is we can actually just go set up a circle. And the reason is because obviously the reference might have the wrist down on the other side, but when modeling your character, you want to have it basically up at like a T pose or basically like an A pose. Because if you have it down on the side, your topology is going to be a little bit weird. And also when you try like rig and weight paint everything, then having the arm right next to the leg is going to kind of make it so that the system doesn't really know how to like automatically set the rig to work properly, all of that stuff. So better to follow with a T-pose. So to do that, I'm also going to go my 3D cursor tool up here and place it like roughly at the shoulder. I'm going to go Shift A, add a mesh circle, RX90 to rotate it, and then get it to kind of the height you want. So it's basically just over the middle. So basically like roughly there. Okay. And then now we know exactly, actually I'm pretty close, now exactly where the wrist should be. So there. And then similar thing, you can also just duplicate it. So basically the elbow was like at the 5. So like there-ish. So then you can just add an edge loop. So like that. Okay. I think it might be slightly too long, but it's fine. So just pull that in. And then let's just go add another edge loop, Control R, and then just the wrist here. Also, what I like doing is kind of taking these and rotating it like this, just a little bit, because it just kind of feels unnatural if the arm is too straight. Over here, I'm just going to scale this up a little bit on the y-axis, and then for the elbow, I'm just going to add like another edge loop like that, and then just going to rotate and then push it like there. Just having a second edge loop on the elbow like this will help in terms of bending. Actually, same thing over here. So I might actually do the same thing on the knee. We already kind of have it with that second edge. But let's just add 2 edges like that. Just to make sure that when you rig it and animate it, that we don't have any problems. Okay. So that, yeah, back to the arm. So we basically add another edge loop, scale it down, and then bring it in for the elbow or the shoulder. So yeah, and then sometimes I like adding one edge in the middle, and then just like bringing it so that it's down like this. So this is kind of for the middle, and then bring it up for the tricep, and then you can basically just go bring these out. Yeah. So there. I think the arm might be too low, so I'm just gonna bring this up. Because you see, obviously, like that's where the shoulder is. So there. So sometimes like improving the shape of the upper body can help. So yeah, let's actually push this down slightly. Okay. And then I might just take this whole top bit and then just rotate it forward a bit, like you see there. Same thing with like the neck, because like it'll kind of give it the look of the kind of like traps. So if we bring this further down, you can see there that kind of helps make it look like it has the actual muscle there. Yeah, and I think their chest is way too short. So just bring this down like that. Cool. And then, yeah. I think when it comes to making low poly characters, just like models in general, you have to get more in a mindset of like, it's not going to be instantly perfect. So just kind of mess around with it. So, like, you get a clean model, but then just kind of spend some time messing around with it to get better proportions, better shapes, to get something that you're more happy with. Okay, and one thing that actually helps a lot is going into sculpt mode. So Control Tab Sculpt Mode. Just hit G for the grab brush, and then you have strength and radius over here. And then you basically use that to kind of like reposition everything. So, very quick and easy way of changing proportions of everything. So hotkeys is also F for the size of the brush and Shift F for the strength. But yeah, so you see here, very useful for changing proportions. So usually it can help like depending on how stylized of a character you want to make like the whole back a bit wider. But yeah. Okay. And if you want to change the thickness of the arm or legs, you can just select them. So here, I'm also using VC for circle select. So you can scroll to change the size. You can right click to cancel, left click to add, and then middle button to deselect. And then use Alt S to change the thickness. So that's the shrink and fatten tool. And you think you could find it over here. Yeah, so Alt S is the hotkey. Cool. And then I'll usually just kind of measure out proportions, check everything out. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the head. So I'm just going to go Shift A, Mesh, Cube, scale it up. So you see, because I have 3 cursors over here, it's going to spawn over here. So I'm going to go Alt G, or if you have like NVIDIA and all of that stuff, Object, Clear Location. Okay, and then I'm just going to go Shift S and cursor toward the origin, so it goes back to the center. Scales down, Control 1 to subdivide it. You see, you have a subdivision. Okay, we can go Control A and Visual Geometry to mesh, or just go here, apply. So now we have actual mesh. Okay. Now, usually what I'll do, I'll basically just take this and I'll push it out like on the y-axis, you see here, make it a bit longer, and then grab the front, pull it out, and we don't actually have a mirror on this yet. So again, front view, like wireframe, we can just go select the left side, X vertices, and then just mirror modifier. Turn clipping on, and let's go. Cool. Now, I'm just going to bring these like forward, so it's kind of the front of the face. And then I'm going to take this and select it for the jaw, extrude that down, and then just like rotate, go front view. You see it kind of like does this, so let's just bring it in, and then basically just comes to shaping the whole thing. I usually just grab the side face, bring it in a little bit, and then, yeah, you just kind of start getting a good shape for your character. Something pretty simple. Okay. Nice. And then remember, check all the different views, see if it's all fine. Okay. So just a pretty simple version of it. But yeah, we can select the 3 faces like this, and then we can go Insert, and then click B for boundary, so you can see the center doesn't go away. And if we do this, we can go X faces, and now we are ready to join the head up with the body. Now, you can see over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices, where over here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the way we get it to work is you can see we have basically like it goes up here, and that's where one of the edges come from, the vertices come from. So what we can do is just select this edge, extrude down, and then just select this next one, click F, and now it's filled. And now because we've done that, this one is obviously gone. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then this can just be pulled back, so it's get like more ready to join the body. Okay, and then this gap might be a little bit too big, so you can see like that. And obviously, I think the neck is probably a little bit too thick. So there. But yeah, you can see that. And you see it's roughly the same size as the cube we added for it. Now you can select these 2, Control J to join, and then just select the 2 vertices that we want, and then just go M at center to merge them. So there. M. Cool. Now usually what I do is I basically start smoothing everything out. So I'm just going to basically like bring these down like that. Okay. And there. So there. That looks good. So you see basically just a little bit smoother. And then, yeah. Cool. So I'm going to bring this a bit forward. Yeah, you see everything is there. Cool. Now I'm just going to delete these 2 guards because we don't really need them. And now we can get the hands and feet done. Okay, so for the feet, we can just go select it, and then maybe bring it up a little bit, extrude down, and we're going to go, just to make sure that it is flat, because it might not be, SZ0 to flatten it. Okay, and then probably needs to be a little bit higher, so there. And then we can grab these faces, so just go face select, or just grab one face like this, and just extrude out like that. So extrude on the y-axis. Okay, and you see, it looks a bit weird, but we'll work on it. So I'm going to go vertex select, Z wireframe, and just select the bottom like that. And what we can do is go Shift H. Okay, when you do that, it hides everything other than what you've selected. So you can bring it back with Alt H later. Okay, now I'm going to go bottom view, and then we can basically use this to start shaping up the foot. So just get a good basic shape, and then you can add edge loops. So Control R to wherever you need. You can either do like that. Okay, so you see like there, and then obviously go check front view. So this is exactly GZ, bring it down. Maybe we did bring it up too far, like there, and then check front view. So sometimes it's nice to kind of like bring it down on like an angle like this. Okay, so it doesn't really work that well in terms of right now because of this edge joining, so it kind of like collapses the foot. So what we could do is select these two, go J, and then use that to like reposition. So you see there, and then that kind of restores the like volume of the foot to it. Okay, maybe still a bit too tall, so let's just bring these all down a bit. Okay, that's good. And then we can go Alt H, bring everything back. I think it's good to kind of add another edge loop and then just bring it in like there, just so we can kind of control more of the shape a little bit. This probably needs to be up a bit, and then maybe this also needs to be like there. Also, what I like is sometimes taking this and then just rotating it out a little bit, like there, because usually it's kind of like more natural to kind of stand like that. Okay. And then you can also, again, right click, loop tool, circle, just make sure it's circular. Cool. And then take this and that. Yeah, let's take this bottom edge F to fill it in. There we go. Nice. And there we go. Got some feet. You can also change the scale and all of that if it's not fitting your character. So you see like there. Okay. Yeah. Because obviously it needs to be big enough to actually support the weight to your character. Okay. Now, get the hands done, because the hands are pretty difficult. So, let's take this, extrude out like that, and then we can just grab the side edges. So just two, go G and G. Okay. And then, actually, this is the wrong way, because obviously the details on the side, but like we actually need more vertices on the top of the hand, because like we don't need a little bit of detail. We don't need a lot of detail on the sides yet, because like we want to actually get the shape of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and then I'm basically just going to rotate it a little bit like that, or you can take it the other way, depending on what you want, and then go extrude out like that. And you see now we have like, we can just take these out like this, and you see now we have the right kind of detail alignment. So usually I'll give the hand kind of like a little bit of a rounding over just by doing that. So you see just pulling it up. And then this will be basically our opening for the fingers, but we can protect this, get to the like length we want. And I also sometimes just bring it in a little bit like this, just to make it kind of another edge, just to kind of control the shape of the wrist. Okay. Now let's go add another edge loop at the bottom, and we just scale it up a little bit. And also the top, you can kind of like round it out similar to like where your like fingers would be. So you can kind of like simplify it into a shape. So there. Okay. That should be good. And then usually what I do is this will kind of set up the thumb. So I'll kind of bring this out a little bit, and then we'll kind of bring the thumb from here. And then this we can take and just go extrude out like this, and then just extrude again. Select this face, edge F, and then from here we can shape it up and get it not looking atrocious. So again, C for circle select. I just like using circle select. So like there. I think usually the hands are like shorter than you think. So I usually make the hands a little bit too long. So like there maybe. Or maybe they're just too big in general. We can also just grab like the top faces like this and then just make it thinner. So you see like that, which will help a little bit. And also sometimes it's weird, like if the edges don't completely line up. Also remember like the middle finger is kind of like where the highest point is, and that's kind of shifted over a little bit. And then the pinky and like stuff is over there. So maybe bring these in a little bit like that. Okay. That's the wrong way around. So select the middle one, pull it over, bring it out, and then bring these ones in. Okay. Yep, good start. And then let's get the thumb in so we can actually see what we're working with. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna actually set up an edge just like this, okay, for the nav tool, and then just go add a triangle thing like this. And then this is gonna be for our thumb. So we can rotate it to wherever we need. And then I'll usually kind of rotate it a little bit like that, kind of like drops, and then extrude out like this. We can right click, loop tool, circle, and then we can use double R. It's like a different way of rotating. So you see here, you can like pull it in like that, whereas usually you can only rotate like this. So it's good for like just if you need to kind of push it like in a different view when you're like front view or something. So like there, and then scale it down a little bit, and we can extrude out like that. Again, we can use our sculpt tools. So sculpt with the grab brush, just quickly reshape the hand. Just kind of get out of the way, and then I can like scale the thumb down. So I usually kind of keep it like that. Let's get a full camera. That the hand kind of sits down like that. You see, so like there, and that's where it should be kind of sitting. So if we compare that to this, you'll see like like where it's sitting. Yeah, so kind of just work on the little vertices of it. But yeah, essentially this will give you a pretty good start. And then obviously once you got this, you can mess around with proportions, check everything out. Just start, because like once the character's actually finished, then you can actually work on stuff. You can also use the proportional editing. So like maybe the top of the arm's also too big. So like use the proportional editing. You can use the scroll wheel to change the size of it, of the amount that it controls. But yeah, and then also go hard the proportion thing. But yeah, that ends up with a pretty good base mesh. And if you want to learn more about all of this and go more in depth, then check the links down below to check out my low poly character course and my topology guide for characters, where we'll go on a deep dive on making character base meshes just like this and everything else. Okay, cool. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you want to watch another one, you can click right over here. And I hope to see you in the next one.